Hi guys, so it's extremely frustrating to listen to Boris Johnson lie his arse off in Parliament and not be held to account. Now, the only way he can be somewhat held to account is by asking him politely to come back to Parliament and correct the record. But he doesn't do that because he doesn't care. So you're going to hear the Speaker of the House, which, he's not growing a pair here and condemning Boris Johnson or the ministers. He's just basically asking them to remember that there was a code, a ministerial code that they should follow. And in that ministerial code, they should, if they make a mistake, come back to Parliament and correct the information. But it's useless asking a compulsive liar to correct their mistakes when they don't care. Boris Johnson lies about things that are important, and he also lies about things that are not important. So asking him to correct the record is a pointless exercise. But let's hear what he had to say.
The government's own ministerial code could not be clearer about what is expected of ministers. It says, "It is of paramount importance that ministers give accurate and truthful information to Parliament, correcting any inadvertent error at the earliest opportunity."
Inadvertent error, okay. As you can see in this parody, Boris Johnson, it says, it wasn't an inadvertent error, it was a deliberate lie. So why would he bother correcting it? Look, I understand this is a joke here, but this is serious. What's happening here is serious. Boris Johnson and Matt Hancock and Jacob Rees-Mogg and other members of the cabinet are lying on a continuous basis. Now, how do you hold them to account? The Speaker of the House can't get involved. He can't say, wait a minute, Boris, that was a lie. And he'll explain in a moment why. So there must be some other way.
The Speaker cannot be dragged into arguments about whether a statement is inaccurate or not.
Which is extremely frustrating, because if Boris Johnson says we're building 40 hospitals at the moment, and that's not true, the Speaker of the House can't get involved and say, actually, that's not true. The Speaker of the House should have the information in front of them. If somebody is lying, they should say, no, that's not true. Do you want to have another go at it, Boris, or Prime Minister? So I think there are perhaps some techniques, because he can't say that's not true. Okay, I understand that. But he could say something different. He could, when Boris Johnson says something wrong, like, for example, if he says, we're building 40 hospitals at the moment, the Speaker could say, I'm sorry, do you want to say that again, Prime Minister? Are you sure about that? He doesn't have to say whether it's true or not. If Boris Johnson continues to say, yeah, we're building 40 hospitals. Are you sure, Prime Minister? Yes, 40 hospitals. Okay, 40, okay. And then sit down. I know he can't say, that's a lie. Do you want to correct it? But there must be another way of dealing with this. Someone in the comments section made a very interesting comment, and they said that another approach could be that Keir Starmer, the leader of the opposition, when Boris Johnson tells a lie, when Boris Johnson doesn't answer a question, which happens on almost every occasion. So what happens is Keir Starmer asks a question, Boris Johnson invents his own question and answers that instead of actually answering the original question. Then what happens is the Speaker of the House here calls for Keir Starmer to ask his second question. Keir Starmer should actually remain seated, and his response should be, I'm waiting for the first question to be answered. Did the Prime Minister answer the question? And the Speaker of the House will have to make a decision. He'll have to say, well, no, he didn't answer the question. He responded, he invented his own question and he answered that, but he didn't answer the question, yes. So, Prime Minister, would you like to answer the question now? That's what he could do. That's not inaccurate information. That's Boris Johnson not answering the question.
This is a matter of political debate. All members of this House are honourable.
All members of this House are honourable. No, they are not. They're not honourable. They have the title, but they're not honourable. Honour is something completely different.
They must take responsibility for correcting the record if a mistake has been made. It is not dishonourable to make a mistake.
It's not dishonourable to make a mistake. That's true. But the problem is that the people are not making mistakes. It's actually quite difficult for a politician to make a mistake because they have a group of people working for them that provide them with accurate information. The problem is not that the politician presents inaccurate information, it's that they present lies. There's a big difference between an error and a lie. They're presenting lies. They are lying to Parliament. And they're not getting punished for it. Boris Johnson has an 80-seat majority. He can lie to Parliament. And he can get away with it. The opposition don't have the power to call him out on it. They don't have the power of a vote of no confidence. So where does the responsibility lie? If the opposition can't hold the government to account, then it should be the Parliament itself. The Speaker should have the power. Now, I understand that he doesn't have power to do this, but he should have the power. He should be able to stop a politician, say, is that information correct? And if it's not, that politician should be punished in some way. They should lose their ability to speak at the next sitting of Parliament, or they should suffer a financial penalty, for example, if they lie to Parliament. The threshold should be extremely low for punishing politicians, and their ability to mislead Parliament should be extremely high. The threshold to actually mislead Parliament should be extremely high. It must be extremely difficult to mislead Parliament. Not what's happening at the moment, where Boris Johnson wades in, talks absolute twaddle, doesn't answer questions, invents his own questions, responds to those, criticises the person asking the question, and then asks for unity. How is that a debate? How is that the government being held to account? It's a joke. It's an insult to democracy. Because whether you like Keir Starmer or not, Keir Starmer is representing, or any MP, and I've talked about this before with the SNP, for example. An MP represents a constituency, the public, in that particular area. And when a minister doesn't answer the question that an MP is asking, they're not just insulting the MP, they're insulting the public. And it's not just the constituency, they're insulting the general public, because they're not doing their job. Their job is to answer questions. Their job is to be held to account. And if they lie to Parliament, or if they mislead Parliament in some way, and they're not being held to account, then how is that democratic? Let me know in the comments section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?